We are God experiencing itself in 7 billion different compartmentalized biological computers. God created creation, but God is all creation. It needed to experience itself. And in order to experience what it created, it needed a body. So it created a fleshly terrestrial vehicle to project itself through, to experience its creation, get feedback from this matrix and from this grid to further expand its consciousness. So if I was a creator of all things and I created humans, and I wanted to experience that creation, and I'm not human, I want to see what that creation like. I'm going to put a fragmented piece of myself into this vehicle. I'm going to breathe into it the breath of life, the Ruach Chaim, and then I'm going to have it go through life and collect this data and this information, pass it down, and then when you transition, I'm not going to say die because we don't die, we multiply. When you transition, you bring all that information back to me, and now I get to expand my consciousness more. We are God that created humans to put God in to experience our creation to teach ourselves. So our purpose, look, I'm finna say something crazy as hell, but really listen to what I say when I say that. The purpose for us being here in the human terrestrial flesh is to teach God. I know that sounds crazy now, but they finna get your whole purpose here to experience. Look, think about it. Your mind wanted to experience creation, so it created a body.
Oh, hold on. Move your mic.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. No, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So your mind wanted to experience creation,
Right.
So it created a body.
Okay.
All right. If you wanted to drink water, the only way you was going to be able to experience that water, you needed hands back in the day to stop it, right? So you got hands. Your hands is like your tools and your utensils to collect data and information to bring it to your subconscious mind, what gets uploaded to the real neural link, which is the plasma that connects you and your higher self, or what we call the creator, right? You have sexual organs to experience pleasure. Not only that, to procreate and reproduce, to bring your data down into.
Yeah.
You have eyes to look at things for you can experience these things, decode them, and bring them back. You can bring it out? Yeah. Okay. Better? Yeah. So you have eyes to look and to decode information, to download and store this information, to make sense of it, and then to bring it to the cloud. Well, look, we talking about Wi-Fi and we talking about iCloud. There was a cloud way before the iCloud. It's called plasma. It's a living, existing plasma. It's called ether. Ether plasma exists. We've been putting stuff in the cloud since the beginning of time, since humans been here on earth. The whole purpose of you being here is to teach God. God needed to experience its own creation, so it created billions of beings. It fragmentalized itself. Let us make man in our likeness, in our image, and give them dominion over the fish of the sea, give them dominion over the fowl of the air, give them dominion over the earth. I'm going to put myself into these people, send them forth in the earth, have them gather all of this intellectual information, download it subconsciously. When they transition, they upload it to the cloud, it come to me, and I expand myself more. That way, when I keep making these new open-ending creations, it get better and better. So yes, we are God teaching God.
The heart chakra of the black man is closed. He's not loving from here. He's loving from here. The other pineal gland. Don't tell me you love me and your heart is full of anger and hatred for something or someone. You can't put that aside and then come give me real love. Don't tell me you love black children and hate white children. What are you talking about? That's schizophrenia. If you love, you love. And love purifies this organ and keeps it alive. There's a secret in here. You can talk with this. There's a secret in here. But you can't get to it if it's full of fear. And that's where hatred comes from. It's out of fear, not out of strength. Love is your power. Wisdom is your guide. Male and female, mother and son, love and wisdom. The law of attraction, drawing you down here and back towards the higher planes, is the law of love in action. We're talking about knowledge that changes consciousness when you talk about your truth. You see? It changes your thinking. And if you try to leave it alone, it won't leave you alone at night when you go to bed and you think you're going to sleep. And your soul says it's time for you to wake up. You don't get no sleep at night. 3 keys: identity, self-knowledge, self-revelation. You want God to reveal himself in you, through you, as you.
When the sun, which is the solar plexus energy within you, rises up through the point of the 7. The same way that the sun goes through the 7 months, your energy goes through the 7 resistors of the 7 chakras. It then makes a right turn and raises itself after hitting the pineal gland. It goes on what is called stria pinealis, which is a straight line to the fornix. The sun, the solar energy in you, actually makes a right turn and heads to the right hemisphere of the brain. At that point, the sun is glorified, and that is where you go into this new life, and that's where this Pentecost type of thing happens. That is why the story has Jesus sitting at the right hand of the Father, because the sun does not rise straight up. It rises to the right. You can go into your dictionaries, you can go into your encyclopedias and look up right ascension, and it will tell you about the trajectory from the meridian to the equator and so forth and so on. Right ascension is when the sun leaves the winter solstice, the bowels of the earth, December 21st to the 25th. On December 25th, the sun starts its trajectory upward and heads up to a point at the right where it intersects with Aries or Pisces or whatever. But that's called celestial right ascension. God's only begotten S-U-N, the light of the world, ascends to sit at the right side, and when he arrives at the point of the right side, all of the earth bursts into new life and the sun is glorified.
Outside the mixtape,
B-NETT
I
production.
can't lose, I must win. So I'm clocked in, I can't lose, I must win. So I'm clocked in, I'm clocked in. I ain't never clocked out, full-time grinding. I feel like a trap house, ain't I swear that? I know that, niggas hating on me like where they do that at. I'm clocked in, I ain't never clocked out, full-time grinding. I feel like a trap house, ain't I swear that? I know that, niggas hating on me like where they do that at. I got a job, but still connected to the street. Some women like me in uniform, the others love me cause I'm street. I like to punch the cloud, but I'd rather sell D. I like to sell ringtone, but I love to sell CD. I get baked deposit even when a nigga sleep, but at the same time when the dies when I'm asleep. Meanwhile I punch the clock and make ends meet, and let my swagger ribbon waves keep on hating on me. I'm clocked in, I ain't never clocked out, full-time grinding. I feel like a trap house, ain't I swear that? I know that, niggas hating on me like where they do that at. I'm clocked in, I ain't never clocked out, full-time grinding. I feel like a trap house, ain't I swear that? I know that, niggas hating on me like where they do that at. Where they do that at, man, you already know. In every city, every hood, every state that you roam, got them hating all the time, hating cause a nigga own. Especially if you got swag, then you keep a lot of hoes. Deep up in the stable, full-time grinding, this is not a fable. So dapper like the dance, but I'm very much so lethal. Run the clock hustling, got me swishing like a free throw. Man, I'm clocked in, I ain't never clocked out, full-time grinding. I feel like a trap house, ain't I swear that? I know that, niggas hating on me like where they do that at. I'm clocked in, I ain't never clocked out, full-time grinding. I feel like a trap house, ain't I swear that? I know that, niggas hating on me like where they do that at. From 8 to 5 I'm on the clock, from 5 to 12 I'm on the block. From the block to the house, I hit the shower, then I'm out to the Costa Rica shop. I've been booked for 500, now the stage I'm a rock. Been at it all day, man, going non-stop. I'm wide ass open, got me feeling like a trap house. I'm more money to blow, but no time to spend it. I've been clocking so long, I'm in the book again. I'm clocked in, I ain't never clocked out, full-time grind.
people and white people, we just normally think it's the skin. We do have more melanin in our skin than any other race. However, this melanin is in your bones because you have more minerals in your bones than any other race. It causes you to have faster reaction time in your muscle, fast twitch reaction than any other race. It causes you to absorb more flavor in the food than any other race. It causes you to absorb more sound in your ear than any other race. It causes you to absorb more color when you see color than any other race. It causes you to be more psychic, more spiritual, more human. And this is what white people say about us. But then again, we've been miseducated. So we don't know these things. And that's on purpose. It can be in economics, it can be in chemistry, it can be in biology, it can be in history. Whatever education you receive from them is a miseducation. And the worst one has been in biology and chemistry. Totally miseducated us. Because they don't want you to know about this melanin. A lot of us have been to their schools and not even heard this. Some people think melanin has something to do with a new type of watermelon. They don't know what it is because they've been miseducated. Although the white folks have a melanin convention every 3 years. The Italians go, the Germans go, the US go, the French go, but they have never invited anyone black in history. Some of us need more than a wake-up call. Some of us need more than a wake-up call. Some of us always think that something always happens to the other guy. You know, the other guy gets in a car accident. The other guy gets diabetes. The other guy gets fired. Well, today, you're the other guy. All indications are you're the other guy. Diabetes, high blood pressure, hyperactivity, infertility, fibroid tumors, prostate disease. You are the other guy that you think everything happens to. Your body was made by a lawyer, by a scientist. You call this scientist and lawyer God. Yeah, God is a scientist. Put together this thing you call a galaxy, you got to know some science. Look at this. Even the wax in your ear is different from other races. We have more moisture in our ears than any other race. Chinese wax is drier. So I'm saying our hair is different, our ear wax is different, how we see is different, how we hear is different, we taste food differently, we taste the full flavor of food. No other race does that on this planet. Isn't that something? So they don't want you to know these things. But we're gonna know this stuff. We're talking about normal values are set on white people. We can say Caucasians, we can say Europeans, but I'm just talking about basic biology. Now, we're talking about the races of humans as classified by white folk. What we're saying is that they rate us the highest on the human scale, they rate us 6th. And they rate themselves the lowest on the human scale. This is what white folk do for themselves. This is their scale, not mine, not African-centered, this is them. So what we're saying is, black folk have the highest amount of vitamins and minerals in their body of any race. So when you send your blood to the lab, that's a chemical test. So since the labs fix the normal value on white folks, when your vitamin and mineral content, which is 6, falls all the way down to 1, they're gonna say there's nothing wrong with you. And you're already twice as sick. Isn't that something? Medical racism. You thought it was just in school or housing. No. When you control science, you control everything. The scientists run this planet. Soldiers don't invent bullets, scientists do. So they don't want you to know these things. But we're gonna know this stuff.
9 months in a system solar of 9 planets, in a mathematical system of 9 numbers. How many names of God were and still are in the Old Testament called the Torah? Anybody know? Any biblical scholars out there? Anybody know? 72. How many names of God are there in the Quran? Any Muslims out there? 99. How many names are there in the Bhagavad Gita? Anybody out there know? 108. What is it that these 3 sets of names and numbers have in common? Thank you. All right. Now, let's look at what we talked about. The great circle is what in mathematics? Thank you. How much is 3 and 6? Uh-oh. Something's up with that 9. And mama. Huh?
It's all about knowledge. Yeah, I stopped the mouth of a Jehovah's Witness when I showed her this comparative between these books of faith, and she can't deny because she could count. You know? You see? Knowledge will carry you higher than what you believe.
You, look at me, you have no control over when your eyes blink, when your heart beats, when your breath breathes, your hair grows, you put food in your mouth, it digests it. You have no control over that. You also have no control when your senses get titillated or fancied with whatever they do and whatever they go after. This is the way it is. See? So what then is said, like the Apostle Paul says on page 148 in Romans chapter 7 and verse 21, I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. In other words, there is something in me. Now, this is the guy that wrote the Bible. So here you're on a guilt trip, and this is the guy who wrote the Bible, and he's all screwed up. What is he doing? He's jumping over the fence, going to see Lulu, coming back and writing the Bible. And you're reading it and carrying it under your arm and say, praise the Lord, here's the Word of God. Because he's admitting it. This whole Romans 7 is a confession of the Apostle Paul that he's messing around. He's messing around. He's into something because he said, I'm doing things that I shouldn't be doing. Now look at verse 22. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man. See? But look what he says in the next sentence. But I see another law warring in my members, warring against the law of my mind, bringing me into the captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. What did Krishna just say 7,000 years ago? I mean, Paul could have saved himself a lot of trouble and read the Bhagavad Gita. See? It was in existence for 4,000 years before he wrote this. So yeah, that's the way it is. So in verse 25 it says, I thank through the Lord Jesus Christ, with the mind I myself serve the law of God, but with the flesh, the law of sin. Now he's not talking about the carnal mind. He's talking about the higher divine mind. And that's important because look at your very next chapter. See chapter 8? Look at verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death. To be spiritually minded is life and peace, because the carnal mind is enmity against God. It is not subject to the law of God, neither can it be. So how can you put anybody on a guilt trip if what they've done comes out of the carnal mind and that's not subject to the law? It cannot be. If you're created, did you come plopping out of your mother's wherever you came and say, oh, well, now, just a minute here. I want a mind. I should have a mind that can obey the law. You got one from the time you were born, and according to this book, can't. So what are you trying to, put people on guilt trips because they've got a mind, as Krishna says, their senses wander. The carnal mind is not subject to the law of God, neither can it be. What does that mean? It means simply that it is not the person deep within the center that's committing the evil. It is that overwhelming, out-of-control carnal mind of which, for whatever reason, whether it be through the family, through the schools, through the church, whatever, the guilt manifestations out of the lower mind overwhelm them and they find themselves doing all of these terrible things. Okay. You realize that your senses become, well, the young lady walks down the street in her little eeny-beeny, titsy-witsy, yellow polka dot bikini, and I say, well, I'm the pastor. But my senses say, well, you be the pastor, but I'm going to look. See what I'm saying to you? Do you see? But I mean, you know what I'm talking about, because you all have 5 senses, and they all do the same things that mine do. So who are we kidding? I mean, you got Bibles, but who are you kidding? And I love the grin on Captain Tom's face. That's the way it is. But you know what I'm saying to you, what's so exciting is Krishna told you this 7,000 years ago. That your senses, what he says, are merely disporting. They're amusing themselves among the objects of perception. See? It doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you. It doesn't make any difference whether it's good for you. Your senses are going to do it anyhow. And once you get that down, wow, this is no different than the Apostle Paul said. The carnal mind is not subject to the law of God, neither can it be. Your senses are going to do what they do. I mean, here we had Jimmy Swaggart, and of course they got this guy thoroughly destroyed. This guy could not resist jumping over the fence, getting into his little Honda or whatever he had, and putting on his T-shirt and going off. Well, his senses were totally in control. A little bit out of control, probably, yes, for his own good. But nonetheless, this is what this is talking about. And it doesn't make any difference how much of a believer you are, and each one of you can sit, and I'm not going to point any fingers because I'd have to point it at myself. I would never do that. But each one of us sitting here know that no matter how you love the Lord, how much you read the Bible, you've got those little things that you like. And that's the way it is. And your senses just, as it says right here, written 7,000 years ago, they just run right after that. And there you're involved in it, you know? That's the way it is.
Okay, alright. Okay, alright.